So I have to be honest, when you sent over the initial materials for what we're looking at today, this whole marketing pitch for the anti-fragile child, I thought it was brilliant satire.
Right.
Because the very first thing I see is that brace yourselves meme. Ned Stark, the sword,
Yeah, yeah.
the whole thing.
Such a perfect hook, isn't it? It's completely self-aware.
Yeah.
The text underneath, parenting advice with vintage memes is coming. It's funny, but it's also, deeply relatable.
Instantly.
It's basically saying, we get it. We know your life is a battlefield.
Exactly. And then I scroll down, and the next image is even better at, defining the audience. It's that classic rage comic.
The four-panel nightmare.
Yeah, where the guy finally sits down, he gets 1 second of peace, and then just, bam, chaos.
They're finished. That's the feeling, right?
That's it.
This whole thing is aimed directly at the parent living in that red-eyed rage comic reality, not the picture-perfect Instagram feed.
Yeah.
The book knows you're exhausted. It knows you're probably stuck in what it calls the anxiety loop.
Which is what, exactly?
It's that cycle where the current dynamic isn't working. Small things are triggering these massive reactions. The meltdowns are constant.
You're too tired to even think about a solution.
Exactly. The sheer overwhelm leads directly to paralysis. So you do nothing. Or, worse, you just do the easiest thing in the moment, which, of course, just reinforces the problem.
Okay, so that explains why it's framed as a field medic's manual. It's for, immediate intervention, not some long philosophical study.
Yes.
So our mission here is to really understand this new operating system they're pitching. It's not about fixing your kid. It's about raising humans who actually get stronger from all that chaos. That's antifragility.
And that philosophy is laid out with, incredible bluntness right from the start with those memes. The entire book is based on one really difficult premise.
Which is?
That decades of well-meaning protection, of hypervigilance have accidentally created these patterns in our kids that severely limit their capability, their resilience.
It's a direct shot at modern parenting. And they really don't pull any punches. That Willy Wonka meme they use, it's so condescending.
Oh, it's brutal. The smirking Wonka, Oh, you remove obstacles and smooth difficulties for your child.
Please, tell me more about how you're building their capability.
It stings. It really does.
It stings because there's truth in it, right? You see yourself in that. We all want their path to be smooth, but the manual is arguing that every time we remove an obstacle, we are actively preventing them from developing a skill.
Precisely. If you insulate a child from manageable stress, small failures, minor disappointments, a little bit of friction, you're making them brittle.
So they just break.
They break like glass the first time a real challenge shows up.
Yeah.
Because they have no internal data, no experience with self-regulating or problem-solving. Antifragility demands that exposure.
But that impulse to rescue is it's so strong. It feels like it goes against every parental instinct.
It does.
And that's why the Boromir meme hit so hard.
The Lord of the Rings one, yeah. One does not simply stop rescuing your child from disappointment.
It just nails that central, painful truth that you have to face, that stopping yourself from fixing it, even when your kid is genuinely upset, that's the real work.
Yes, and the manual is pretty clear that the reason we intervene is often about our own discomfort. We can't stand to watch them struggle.
So we make it stop.
We make it stop. It's a short-term reward for us, the parent. It silences the noise. But the manual is basically begging you to just hold space for that noise, because that discomfort is the signal that growth is actually happening.
Okay, so how do they get an exhausted, completely overwhelmed parent to actually do any of this? Because it can't be structured like a typical textbook.
No, the format is the solution to the anxiety loop. It's a triage manual, pure and simple.
Yeah.
And they use the Ancient Aliens guy meme to make that point.
Of course they do. Giorgio, is it possible a parenting book can be used without reading it cover to cover? Yes.
That's the whole promise. It's designed for rapid response stabilization. The book is broken down into 18 common challenges.
Like what?
Oh, everything. Bedtime resistance, expecting constant help, you name it. And the crucial part is, each chapter is a 10-minute read. You don't study the philosophy, you just find your immediate problem and apply the protocol. Now,
that structure is everything. It removes the overwhelm. You're not facing a 400-page book you feel guilty about not reading.
right.
You're facing a 10-minute tactical choice.
And that immediately shifts you from that anxiety loop where you're just stuck in your head to what they call the action loop. Small experiment, then observation.
Which is where the Leroy Jenkins meme comes in.
Yes. Photoshopped right over the table of contents. It's so good.
They're basically gamifying the whole thing. They circle friction points like excessive screen dependence and call it a quest.
It's saying, pick your battle,
Yeah.
charge in and start now. Don't wait until you're ready. Just choose the thing that's causing the most friction in your family and make that your entry point.
All right, let's get into some of these protocols because this is where the theory gets, really practical and often pretty counterintuitive.
Let's do it. We can start with one of the most common quests, which is meltdowns over small disappointments. This is usually the biggest stressor for parents.
And for this, they use that super intense anime girl stare to illustrate the problem, the famous blue cup drama.
Exactly. You gave my sibling the blue cup. I guess our entire relationship was a lie.
We've all been there.
We have. The book calls this high-resolution signal processing.
Meaning what?
It means the child's brain is wired to take a minor, totally manageable setback like getting the wrong cup and process it as a massive existential threat. The signal gets amplified way out of proportion, and that's what leads to the meltdown.
So the goal isn't to stop them from feeling disappointed.
No, never.
It's to help them build the capacity to feel that disappointment without falling apart.
Exactly. Disappointment tolerance is the absolute foundation of capability. And the book outlines 3 steps for the parent to become the anchor, which it illustrates with that really simple, neutral stick figure on a chair image.
What are those 3 steps? Because this is where I think most of us fail by just jumping in too fast.
Okay, so step 1, create space. You just physically move back a little. Give them room to process without you hovering over them.
Okay.
Step 2, hold space. This is the hardest part. You stay physically present, but you are emotionally neutral. You don't offer solutions, you don't distract them, and you resist asking, "Are you okay?" over and over.
Wait a minute. If my kid is screaming and my brain is firing on all cylinders telling me to fix this, how do I know I'm not just ignoring them? Which feels like it would damage our connection.
And that is the absolute core challenge. The manual is very clear. Ignoring distress is neglect. But holding space is the opposite. It is radically present attention.
Right.
Without interference.
Okay.
Your physical presence says you're safe, but your restraint, your refusal to fix the cup, sends the clearest possible nonverbal message. I love you, I see you're upset, and I know you are capable of handling this.
So if you fix it for them,
You teach them that a huge emotional outburst is the most effective tool they have to control their world.
so your inaction is actually an active intervention.
It's the moment you shift from being a problem solver to being a model for emotional regulation. Then comes step 3, and only after the storm passes. Acknowledge calm. You just briefly note the effort. You felt really upset, and then you calmed yourself down.
Let's move on to cognitive capability. Chapter 2, the child who expects constant help. The kid who just immediately asks for help without even trying.
The default is dependency, and that's a pattern we often create by jumping in at the first sign of struggle, just to keep things moving or stop them from getting frustrated.
So what's the protocol?
It's the 3-attempt expectation. When they ask for help, the response is simple. I can see you're stuck. Try 3 different approaches first, and if you're still stuck then, I'll help.
That sounds simple, but I can imagine sitting there watching them struggle it's got to be grueling.
That is the intentional friction. The book warns you the kid will probably just try the exact same thing 3 times or throw a little fit. Your job is to stay a neutral observer. You do not rescue them from the effort.
And what if, after 3 real tries, they're still genuinely stuck?
This is the crucial moment, part 2 of the protocol. The parent avoids becoming the one who executes the solution. Instead, you describe options without executing.
Give me an example.
You might say, some people try pulling harder, some try twisting it, maybe some look for a tool. You're offering different cognitive paths, not the action itself.
Right.
And then this is key. You step away. You force the child to choose one and do it themselves.
So you've planted the idea, but they still have to do the physical and mental work of choosing and then doing.
Yes. So the neural connection they build is, I solved this. And you give them all the credit later. You work through that frustration and you figured it out. That's how you build persistence.
Okay, third big one, the ability to tolerate nothing. Boredom, chapter 3.
This is so critical. It's the link between screens and antifragility. If a kid is constantly consuming content, their brain never learns how to access its own internal resources.
So boredom is actually a skill.
It's the foundation for creativity, for self-direction, for finding your own motivation.
So how does the manual force that friction?
Part 1 is the main action. Establish screen-free space daily. 1 hour. It's non-negotiable and it has to be consistent. Screens go away, and the instruction is simple. This is your time. You can do anything you want except use a screen.
And I'm guessing the parent's job during that hour is not to be the entertainment.
Absolutely not. That's part two. When the whining starts, and it will, you must remain uninteresting during complaints.
That is a fantastic phrase. Remain uninteresting.
It's perfect, right? The common mistake is we feel responsible for their happiness. So when they say, I'm bored, we start suggesting things. Why don't you draw, play with Legos, read a book?
And then we become the entertainment source.
Exactly. You teach them that complaining effectively summons a solution from you. The goal is to acknowledge the complaint once, yep, you're bored, that's okay, and then you go back and doing something quiet yourself. You become a boring landscape.
The boredom itself becomes so uncomfortable they're forced to look inward and create something for themselves.
That's it. And you never, ever explain the benefits of boredom in the moment. You just hold the boundary.
This all sounds incredibly hard. I mean, if you start doing this, you're changing the entire family dynamic. The kid is going to push back hard.
And that brings us to the book's most essential warning. You have to prepare for the extinction burst. They use the why you know guy meme for this one.
You make behavior worse when I finally get consistent.
It's so counterintuitive, isn't it? Why would a healthier boundary make the behavior worse at first?
I don't know.
Because the old behavior, the tantrum, the whining, it's a system that used to work. When the child uses it and the expected result, which is you intervening, doesn't happen, they don't just give up.
They double down.
They test the new boundary with maximum force. It's like a toddler pushing on a new gate. They're going to shake it and rattle it to see if it's really solid.
So week one is going to feel like a complete failure. The meltdowns get louder, the resistance gets stronger.
Precisely. And that's the moment where consistency is everything. The extinction burst is actually proof that the old pattern is dying. If you give in, then you teach a really dangerous lesson, that escalation is the key to getting what they want.
But if you hold the line, you get the payoff, which is that great success kid meme.
The fist pump kid.
Yeah.
Child had a meltdown over a broken crayon, calmed themselves down while I just sat there.
And that's the win. It's not about the crayon. It's about the child showing they can regulate their own emotions and accept a small, disappointing reality without you.
The book argues this over and over. The goal isn't happiness, which is fleeting. It's capability, which is permanent. Disappointment tolerance, problem solving. And this whole capability stack, it's shown in the Galaxy Brain meme progression.
Right, the compounding effect. You start with the small brain, solving meltdowns.
Then you level up to, I'm building problem-solving persistence.
And finally, you hit that cosmic brain realization, my child is becoming antifragile.
Because these skills stack on top of each other. They handle more, they need you less, and eventually they contribute more to the world. And that's the big picture, which is reinforced by that image of the mountain peak.
Your role is building a human who can handle life being hard.
That's the mission. That's the mission that has to override the short-term difficulties.
So, to kind of pull this all together, the whole thing is a massive paradigm shift. It's about moving away from rescue and comfort as your primary goals.
And focusing entirely on consistency and building real functional capability. Accountability, persistence, being okay with being uncomfortable.
The book just provides a structured way out of that anxiety loop.
It gives you the protocol. It knows it's going to be messy, but it trusts that the growth is worth the discomfort.
And the final instruction is just so simple. It's that resigned but determined, okay, guy meme.
Okay, choose a challenge, begin. And the dedication just sums it all up, doesn't it? For the kids and the parents who stop trying to help.
It's an instruction to just drop the guilt and pick one thing. Start there.
It takes the pressure off. You don't have to master it all. You just have to run one small experiment consistently. And those small experiments in the action loop compound into real knowledge for your child.
Really powerful framework.
And here's the final thought I'll leave you with. This focus on capability. It's really about preparing a child for a world that is fundamentally unpredictable, that's changing constantly, a world that demands adaptation. So when your child is ready to go out into it, their real value isn't going to be their grades. It's going to be the observable evidence of their capability stack. Can they solve problems, manage money, fix things? Can they handle failure? That stack, built on disappointment tolerance and persistence, is the most valuable asset you can give them for an uncertain future. Because at the end of the day, the world just needs more capable humans.